Hello, welcome to the second and final edition of the Car Business Ford Drive One Special. Yes, Ford is the sponsor of this particular Car Business episode, Jeremy Cato, but that doesn't mean we're going to throw them any softballs.
Anything but. I mean, we can't do that. And there's a story here that's got a good side and a bad side. We're going to look at both sides.
We're going to get it out. Okay, well, tonight we're going to be talking about Drive Smart, Drive Green. You know, when the economy stinks and sales generally in the industry are so far down, do people really care about driving smart, driving green, or just driving cheap?
Well, they always care about driving cheap. Yeah. But yes, they do care about driving green and smart and all these things, because all of them factor into the buying decision. If you look at that University of Michigan study that came out. Yeah, where they looked at what, basically it came down to this. Buyers care about fuel economy in the long run, but of course there's an emotional component that comes out when you see the price of gas go up and down, that emotionally figures. But bottom line is that people care about these things in the long term, and they all factor into the buying decision.
Well, you say in the long term. I mean, they cared in the U.S. when gasoline was $4 a gallon, and then they didn't give a damn when it went back to $2.
Well, that's not true. I mean, if you look at the market research, people still care about it, but they still have needs as well. Small car sales have not completely fallen off a cliff in the United States, and they've always been strong in Canada, where gas is about 2 to 3 times more expensive. So what buyers are looking at is, what am I getting in the value in the long term, and what price can I get in the short term? Those are the two decisions, and a fuel economy definitely fits into that. Okay,
Drive Smart. I know what a smart car is. I don't know what Drive Smart is.
Well, it's technology that's affordable and functional. The big argument that customers always make is that the cool stuff costs too much. It gets launched in Lincolns and Jaguars and Lexuses and Cadillacs. But the stuff that I want that makes sense is too expensive. So Ford actually read its marketing plans, which is what that University of Michigan study said. They said, why don't you just read your own marketing plans and do what your customers are telling you to do? So this is technology. This boils down to technology that's affordable, that makes sense.
Okay, give me some examples of this.
Well, the sync system is the classic. That's the poster child. That's that voice-activated system that Ford developed with Microsoft and will be migrating to other brands, by the way.
It actually works. That's the amazing part. Because we tried so many of these that haven't.
Well, it's ultimately where all the gizmos and gadgets have to go is voice activation, because nobody can really figure out what to do with controllers and buttons.
And you don't want people on their cell phone trying to dial the damn thing when they're going through traffic.
Exactly.
As you see every day.
So what you need is a system that you can say, play Black Eyed Peas, which is, and the kids today all have, when we go on vacation, we have 5 iPods in the car. I've got mine, my wife has one, and then we got the 3 kids with all their iPods. So you need a way to download all that stuff and activate it with voice controls.
Okay, Drive Green. Yeah. Now, we talked about the price of fuel, and that makes people want to drive green. Anything else?
Well, what matters about driving green is that everybody would like to drive a car that's fuel efficient and good for the environment. And nobody says, let's burn the house down that we're living in, right? Okay. But nobody wants to give up performance, right? We still want to be able to merge into traffic and so the Drive Green component that Ford's pushing, really the centerpiece for it is this EcoBoost system. We're going to learn more about this.
Okay, the centerpiece of the company, of course, is Chairman Bill Ford. He's still around.
I'll give Bill Ford credit for one big decision. The decision to give somebody else the authority to run the company on a day-to-day basis. He figured out that he was not chief executive day-to-day material.
But he's executive chairman too, so that means he comes to work every day.
Well, isn't it nice to have the guy down the hall whose family name is on the building when you're Alan Mulally, the new CEO they brought in 2.5 years ago from Boeing, the airplane guy, engineer guy. And he was brought in to do what Bill Ford had the good sense to realize he didn't have the skills and the experience to do. Because remember, Mulally's already turned around a company.
But he is setting the value. So let's hear from Bill Ford on Drive Green.
We are launching an aggressive plan to bring pure battery electric vehicles, as well as next generation hybrids and plug-in hybrids, to the market quickly and more affordably. And it starts with at least 4 new high-mileage vehicles in the next 4 years here in North America. And they will use the most advanced form of battery technology for performance and efficiency.
Electric cars, everybody's into them. You know, I think they're going to be bigger than anyone expects.
I agree. And they're not just big in terms of the environment, but they're big as a marketing tool.
Oh, yeah.
If you are, look at, basically Ford's turnaround plan is let's be Toyota for North America. And what Toyota did with hybrids was create a green image by selling a couple 100,000 Priuses.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, that's good.
And that allowed them to move into pickup trucks and sport utilities and all these other fuel.
But an
guzzling
electric
vehicles.
car, if it's got the range and the dependability, man, it's cheap. You plug that thing in, it's going to cost you a fraction of what you pay for gas.
Well, and yes, and better to drive. Well, you and I have both driven electric cars, and I'm all for it. In the urban environment, you know, driving around, if you're at the beach in Toronto and you're going downtown, why wouldn't you want an electric car? If you're in Kitsilano in Vancouver and you're going downtown, why not an electric car? Because you can just plug it in while you're sitting in your office.
Okay, how soon? How soon? What do you think these things are going to do?
Well, we're going to see real electric cars coming from a lot of people within the next 24 months.
Yeah.
Nissan has an electric car program that's going to be right up from the ground up. All new electric car.
Mitsubishi.
Mitsubishi got the
Every
i-MiEV.
Chinese manufacturer thinks that this is their great leap forward.
Warren Buffett has invested in a hybrid company, plug-in hybrid company, and of course Chevy's got the Volt from General Motors. So Ford has said, wait a minute, we've got to have electric car programs. So the Transit Connect will be their first low volume vehicle, which is kind of an urban electric vehicle. They'll also have a gas version. That gets the toe in the water, and then the rest start coming, as Bill Ford said, in 2012.
All right. Well, we've got more coming, too. We're going to get into the Drive Smart right after the break, and we've got some great guests from Ford.